Right, Rob, I need you to come and we need to really investigate carefully what's at the bottom of these trees, of these branches. So that is just a loose branch that's just laying across the floor, and that's resting on there like that. And then that one is alive. That's a live tree that's been bent over. Now it may have been bent over because this one is leaning on it.
Yeah, but that isn't joined on.
And that is, it's not joined on. It's just resting.
No root there either.
And I don't know whether that's, I don't think that's roots, but I mean, how are you supposed to know? It doesn't look like there's roots, but I mean, they could have rotted away for all I know. It's funny though that there's those stones there, and there's another stone over there, but the land out there isn't ploughed or anything, so it's just odd that there's those random 4 stones. And then look at this. What the hell is this all about? There's this one and this one are propped up here. They've got no bark on them.
That is one tree though, those two.
This is one tree that's bent over, is it?
No, but I don't think there's anything in the ground. That one's not in the ground.
Okay, and this one that's lying across it, going up there with a fork on the end, of course. So
that isn't joined.
This one's, oh no, it's not, is it? No, look, that's not joined. So where did that come from? Is that joined?
Well, I don't know. It might just be because it's heavy. No.
Right.
Oh,
yeah, I think it broke away from the ground then when you pulled it.
Right.
So that's an interesting set of shapes that we've just come across as soon as we come in through that gap there. But all of those just could be things falling down. But today we wanted to look particularly at things that are 3D. So shapes in the woods that could be messages or languages that are not things lying flat on the ground, but things that you have to view from different angles. And you know, why is it always making crosses? There's another little leaner there, but I mean that could have easily just fallen out of a tree. There's a break just there. And that could have just broken naturally. No evidence there. There's more leaners there. But again, they make these shapes. Yeah, so there's a big long straight one that goes straight up, which I suppose is a dead tree. Is that connected, Rob? And then there's two leaning up against it.
Ready?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, so that's not connected.
No. And
Does it look like there was roots on it ever?
That's just mud there.
It's just mud.
Sitting on the mud. It's not pushed in or anything.
Right.
It goes right up there, and it's got a fork on the very, very top.
So where's that come from? Why is that there? This one here could have easily just fallen out of the tree.
Well, that one's strange.
Yeah.
It's so big.
Yeah. And also I think it's interesting that it's got these things at the base of it. So to look at it in 3D, it makes patterns that stand out from all sides that you look at it. So let's have a look and see if we can see some more. So things that make 3D shapes in the woods that are not glyphs that are lying on the floor, but are things that look like they're meant to be viewed from kind of an upright walking position by whoever. There's quite an interesting thing here that looks a bit like a sort of fence. It's probably just... Ooh. So that's two trees there, look, that have fallen down. And then some bits of things that have landed on top of them. And then those two that have fallen down end up entwined.
And this one, look, that one.
Oh, and it's caught. Oh, look at that. Now, how has it caught that? This one is trapped in between the one above and the one below. Now, that's interesting to think. It might have just caught it as it fell down. And then there's another Y stick. But this one is the one that's caught between those two fallen trees. So that is trapped in between the fallen trees, and it comes, well, it kind of makes, look, a pinned arch. So it goes up and over. Then it's got this Y stick that goes either side of this upright tree, and it's wedged in between the fork or the Y stick and a living tree. And this is the one that looks a bit like a pinned arch that is trapped between these two that are at my feet.
The ones at your feet are all dead.
The ones that my feet seem
still
dead.
alive.
The one that's trapped is still alive. Yeah, because it goes into the ground over there. Yeah, and it's got leaves on it. So, is that just a falling down tree, or is that some kind of purposeful shape? It's got lots of stuff underneath it, but then it would have if a tree had fallen down. That makes perfect sense. And there's another pinned arch stuck in it as well, look. Rob, there's another one. Here, look. There's another pinned arch there. And that's
one right by you.
still alive too. Where? Oh, and there as well. So that is holding this one in place, which is also pinned underneath this, which is one of the falling trees. And then there's a tree that starts there and goes up there, and then that one has also been caught somehow with the falling trees. There's one of them, and there's the other one. But then, look, right near it are 3 Lenas there.
A load of leaves over there.
Oh,
and
thank
one
God.
pinned arch.
Last time we came in here, it was amazing as well. But it was so long ago, we didn't know what we know now. And I remember when we came in here, we got a bit creeped out and spooky feeling. And we just put it down to hearing some animal or something in here. Look, there's this. Oh, it's got some nice little toadstools there as well. So we've got a fork cleaner, and it's forked there as well, and it's obviously fallen down out of that tree. So what we thought was like a teepee is an upside down fork leaner
Wedged in
with,
that one.
look, now that one
That's wedged in behind.
is wedged in behind it. So
And that bit's wedged in there as well.
thing is,
So there's like 4 wedged in there.
I don't know how these things happen. I've been in touch, trying to be in touch with a bushcraft lady who lives in Normandy. So I spoke to a guy who cuts our trees. What do you call people who cut trees, Rob?
Oh, arborist.
No, yeah, arborist, tree fella, tree surgeon. A tree surgeon, talking to a tree surgeon, and I said I needed to talk to someone who knew about bushcraft because I wanted to be able to understand what on earth was going on. So he said he would put me in touch with a lady in Normandy who was a bushcraft expert, and she would be able to explain some of the things for me. So that's what I'm waiting for at the moment, but it seems to be taking ages.
An entrance.
Yeah, look at that, you see, that's another way into the wood. And there's a big proper X there. I mean, that's like a proper Colorado kind of an X. But maybe X's happen loads in nature. I have no idea. There's another pinned arch there, but I don't know if it's actually pinned or whether it's just bent over. See it there? Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it's not. It doesn't seem like it's attached to anything. So maybe that's how they start in real life, and then stuff falls on them later and holds them down, and then we think they've been held down on purpose by somebody or something. It was down to the right, Rob, that we had our spooky feeling last time we were here. Okay, have a look at this. So we start with a tree over there. So this tree, if you follow it back, you can see that it's tipped over and fallen down. And in the process, it's taken with it possibly this leaner that you can see going from right to left. In the meantime, also, that leaner has leaned on this tree. But at the same time, by coincidence, that same tree has also knocked this down, which has then pinned the bottom of the pinned arch.
Yeah, but this is the top. The bottom of the tree's down there. So that tree should have fallen over this way.
So this end here is the top of a tree.
Yeah, and that fell down
And
before that.
That fell down before this.
And trapped that.
And trapped the pinned arch.
Yeah, but then those other ones fell down somehow and trapped the rest of the pinned arch under there.
Yeah, well, see, I that to me doesn't make an awful lot of sense, because I can't work out what happened first or second, because it seems like the things that happened first couldn't have happened first if that has trapped the pinned arch. Look at that. Massive big cross there, look, on the floor. And then some more leaners. I mean, these leaners are just leaning over trees. so we can't prove anything pushed them over at all. They don't log in this bit of wood because it's too rough, and there's a big dell, big sort of valley bit in it. Right, we'll see if we can see any more. Okay, now this is a lot like the one that GPE found the other day. He found a tree that had been pinned back in such a way that it made you think that possibly only something with hands could have done it. Because you see, if that's growing up there, it would have gone up the same way as that one. But for some reason, it's come round here, but it's come back on itself. And
Let's see if it's under tension.
hang on a minute, let me get see if I can get a good shot of it. You see how it curves round? And then, okay Rob, you can show us now because I got a good shot of you. Is that quite firmly fixed?
Yeah,
It's obviously been there for a long time, hasn't it? So how does that happen?
No, it hasn't been there for a long time, look.
No?
Well, it's not worn away any of that moss. None of that moss is worn away.
There's a little bit.
No, that's the
No?
same as that there.
Right.
That was there.
Right.
So it's not worn away any of that moss.
So
It's been blowing in the
So
wind.
when did it happen, I wonder? There's no way of us being able to tell. But I do think that's a bit odd. And look, nice parallel trees there. Not making any claims for that. I'm just documenting it and saying, nice parallel trees. We're getting this clear patches underneath trees again. It could just be, someone was saying, perhaps something that drops down out of the trees that kills the stuff that's growing underneath the tree. I don't know, but I just think it's weird that you get all this greenery and then suddenly in odd patches you get sort of bare ground, but it's always got lots of sticks in it, which it would have because things fall out of the trees all the time. Sorry, did I move that camera a bit quick then? Sorry. I just said to Rob, so where did this one come from? This is a nice Y stick leaner, and if we'd have come maybe a few months later, we would never have known that it's come from there, look, and it's snapped off here and laid there. So if the next time we came, this one had maybe rotted away, or, I mean, it's a great big one, look, it goes all the way over there. Maybe we wouldn't have realised then that it had been attached to something that probably just fell out of a tree. So it's I can understand what Brent Dill is saying when he says you've got to examine everything with a very critical eye and try and leave your bias and your priming behind you and try and look at things with a clear head. Hang on, Rob's found a pinned arch. 1 second. So Rob's just spotted this.
Right there.
This is seriously bent over, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pinned.
Is it poked in the ground?
It's poked in the ground behind that stick there, look. Oh, can't reach it.
So it is literally just poked in the ground.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. It's not poked in very far.
No.
So what's held that down then?
It sort of like was held against. This one here is stopping that flicking up.
Yeah,
Maybe. I don't know.
that's interesting.
It's wet and muddy, yeah.
But see, shapes like that really stand out because there's not a lot of curves. Oh, look what I've just spotted beyond here. Oh, this is a lovely muddy bit. So, that's not attached. And that's not attached. So, both of those must have fallen out of a tree and landed like that.
Like those two over there. Those two white
Oh,
leaners.
look at those two white leaners over there. Now that's interesting. Look how they stand out. Can that really be just natural? I'll go over to that and have a closer look and see what's going on. I thought I heard a wood knock, and it wasn't. It was Rob hitting a tree with a stick. So I don't need to get very excited. Oh look, this is like a little stream going through here. Oh, well, that's handy. That might mean that there's a spring in here, which would be a good water source.
One of those things with loads of shapes in it.
Oh, like an asterisk. Oh, yeah. So, if we're being hypercritical, all of that is just stuff that's fallen down from up there. Or it's a person who's come in and piled them up like that. So it started off with this one, I think, because that one's poked into the ground there. So that's the first one. The second one is that one underneath, and that is part of this one. Then the third one, I think, is this one, which comes from over there. And then the fourth one is that one, which comes from over there. And then the fifth one is this one, which comes from there. And then there's a sixth one there, and a seventh one there, and an eighth one, I think, unless I've already counted that one.
That one.
But when you're walking through here, you can see that it sticks up from the ground, it stands out. It isn't like anything else that you can see around. So if this was a message from someone and
Here
to
there be
someone,
water.
yeah,
Here
there'd be water. I just think it's interesting to contemplate. Is it natural?
Behind you.
Oh, and those beautiful too. Oh, it's not. They're not just leaners, are they? They're crossed over. They're nice, aren't they? I mean, look how they stand out. They're a completely different colour for a start from everything else. And look what's right next to them. Talk about finding coincidences and making something out of nothing. So we've got two leaners that cross to make a cross. Right next to them, we've got a beautiful big Y stick. And then, just behind there, we've got a break. So, yeah, look, we've got the break, and there we've got the pinned arch. Now, is that a proper pinned arch? No. Yeah, I'm not sure actually if it is, because look, the end is broken off, so I can't say that that's a pinned arch really. And look, I mean, how does this happen? How does that get placed underneath that? So that must have arrived first and then that broke. Interesting that. And we're near the edge again. Always, there's so much goes on near the edge. And if I was someone who was leaving messages for someone in the woods, I'd be leaving messages near the edge so that when they came in, they'd see it. And look what you see when you come in. Can this be a language in 3D designed to be viewed from all angles and different positions? So here we've got another asterisk type thing that looks like it's been kind of layered or built up. It could be just stuff falling out of the trees, absolutely. But once again, look how it stands out. It's up off the ground. It's like the other one. The other one's just there, just back over there. It stands up about, what, 1.5 foot?
Yeah.
2 foot off the ground. And it makes this asterisk shape. Now, we can't see it everywhere. So is that...
We've only seen, all the time we've been doing it, we've only seen a couple of sticky up asterisks. The one that was like a spider's web we saw that time in that wood over near Tucson.
Right.
I was walking down that track, there was one off to the side, wasn't there?
Yeah.
A really nice one.
Yeah.
And these two.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple of others, but so we don't see them in every woods we go in.
No, we don't. No. It's interesting just to document that and think, what could that be? There's a massive pinned arch there. It's about, 15 feet tall from this big tree. And then just behind it, there's another one that goes up and comes down there. And then here, there's another one that goes up and comes down there. So, is this in this little patch of wood because these particular trees are a bit bendy and they grow very tall and straight very quickly, and they're a bit bendy and pliable, so the tops of them tend to bend over, and then once they've bent over, something falls out of the trees above them and pins them. Maybe that's how it happens, rather than something coming pinning them. Just a thought, just a suggestion. So take a look at this pinned arch. It starts here, goes up, then there's a great big tree there holding it in place. So what happened first? Did that arch bend over first, then later on the tree fell on it? And then when you come down here, it's pinned down with all this debris. So there's two big sticks there holding it down, and another stick over there holding that bit down. It just It always seems such a coincidence that they get held in position so conveniently. But what did we say in the last video? It's human nature to look for shapes, signs and patterns, and we can't help doing it because that's just how our mind works. And now that we've seen arches, crosses, glyphs and things, is our mind just now conditioned into spotting them? No matter how much we try and be rational and rigorous with our examining of them, I don't know. This stood out to us fairly clearly. So there's a great big lena here that is just a tree that's in the process of falling over, and it's got caught up there in a bigger branch. But hanging off it is a Y stick. That's fine. That could have just fallen out of the tree. And at the bottom of it, you've got these two crossing over there, which are both leaning in different directions. Plus, you've got another lena there that is threaded through that Y stick, which then goes up and off into that tree. And then you've got that cross effect up there as well. Pinned arch and another arch. Just very interesting.